Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's me, Helene, here at Cabin Fever Crochet on a beautiful day. I went to Michael's return trip yesterday. Wanted to look at that delicate decay again that I showed a few days or so ago. And to my surprise, I'm so excited. I couldn't wait to show you what I discovered. And after looking at that yarn, I'm like, oh man, that looks so familiar. And then it just suddenly dawned on me last night. So I pulled up a couple of those, tell you about it, and show you a finished project that I had in it. And then I wanted to let you know that Michael's has a new sale, 40% off all regular priced items. So the sale is good through the 10th, and which is Sunday. And if you don't have a Michael's near you, depending on what you get and how much. And with 40% off, even just a smaller purchase would more than pay for the shipping. All right, there we go. I'm going to stand up because I have been sitting a lot today working on a new design with the Caron coconut cakes. I am more than halfway through. Oh, I can't wait to bring that to you. I am really excited about it, and just going to take me a couple, maybe a few more days or so, because I'm going to write up a pattern for that as well. So hang tight, hold on. If you have that yarn, I have something I think you're really gonna like. Do you guys remember, several years back, that Michael's, their Loops and Threads in-house brand, they used to carry their Joy DK yarn, and it came in these spherical shaped balls that resembled planets, like specifically Saturn comes to mind with the rings. Lovely yarn, soft and silky, worked up so beautifully, but the way it was wound in the ball, it tended to really just fall apart easily on itself. But other than that, I just loved it. And then Premier had their Luna yarn, exact same yarn, same colors. Maybe one company had more colors or different than the other, but they all had some that are similar. And I was so bummed, try to adjust this without the glare, so bummed that that was discontinued. So I got these two colors that you saw on my screenshot, and I'm looking at this going, gosh, these colors look so familiar. And then right next to it, there's some solids. And it is the exact same blend, 70% acrylic, 30 polyamide, the same kind of twist on it, the exact same amount of yardage, which is a number 3 light and 315 yards and a 4-ounce skein, 228 meters, but it has a different name. So I thought, okay, maybe are they renaming one or the other? Well, this one, the solid, which is called Baby Cuddles, exact same yarn, just in solids. It does say new. So it's not an exact match per se, but I thought it would be really pretty contrast to pipe in some other colors, because it has this real soft peach. Because not everything has to necessarily be a matchy, which I'd like to do sometimes, but I also like to use contrasting that just gives a little pop of color, and it adds some visual different depth and dimension to it without having that built into the stitches. So if your stitches are pretty regular, like say series of double crochets or something, and you want to add some visual interest, just adding a little bit of a contrasting color can really do that for you. And I thought it also pulled kind of a cross between that pale sort of peachy pink and that cream leaning with a little bit of a yellow undertone in there. Okay, now it's getting chilly. That air here, for those of you who are new, I'm in northeastern Washington State. We live in a relative dry climate, and that air is so sharp when it is cold and biting. Woo! But next week it's going to change. It's going to be starting to get into the 50s, and with daylight savings, I'm a happy camper. All right, literally, I feel like I call this civilized camping here, where we are. My friend Jay over at Jay's Knit and Pearl Jam, and I remembered that because when I looked at it, I went, oh, hold on a minute. I remember Jay made a really super cute knit cardigan, and she crochets too, by the way, not just all knit on there. I'm going to leave the link below. Check out her crochet. And remember, guys, I mean, we have playlists. So you just click on the channel and it'll show you where you have shorts, videos, community, playlist. You click on that, and then mine are in individual categories. So if you want to see, say, all the shawls I have, for example, you click on that and you'll see those, and then so forth, and broken down into each category. And Jay has been on YouTube for, I think 11 years now. Is that right, Jay? And she has an incredible library of amazing designs. She is a fantastic teacher. So please, I hope you will go check her out. All right, so the cardigan that she made was in this color. And when I first saw the Delicate DK, I immediately thought back to that cardigan of Jay's in one of the originals from either the Premiere or Loops and Threads. However, the fiber content is different now. So the original 100% acrylic, these newer ones, 70 acrylic, 30 polyamide, and the colors are definitely, the hues are a little bit different, where, you know, Jay's, you can see they're really vibrant, saturated. This one's much more muted and soft, but since those other two are no longer available, to me, these are really nice replacements. And then what I did is I started getting back into knitting again. I had made this with the two balls that I had of the original Loops and Threads Joy DK. From her stitch tutorial, I believe it was number 1, and I'm going to leave the link for that also below. And I thought, well, why don't I just continue the pattern and just do however many rows of the pretty lacy pattern that I thought looked good, and then I followed that by just the regular kind of knitting stitch there. And then that was my repeat, and it was real easy to follow. But you know, with this knitting stitch, I have a hard time getting it to lay flat, even with blocking it, and I do believe that's the nature of it. Even with doing maybe a little border row on the sides, I did two rows of crochet half double, one of half double it looks like, and then one of single, and then I blocked it, and now the sides lay pretty flat. And so I continued on. Then I decided, instead of a scarf, then I decided, well, I'll just make a cowl. And when I came home, I pulled this out and I went, oh, you've got to be kidding. It is almost the same, almost the same. This has the same pink, and here it has gray going into the green, and this is more of a lavender gray, and it has the cream as well, where this has the cream, where this one not so much. So the color is very, very close, as you can see. They're not quite identical, but it is so very close, and it's the same weight. It's close to the same yardage. So this one has the green in it, just like this does. I mean, to my eye, it looks so much the same. Now, this is a really beautiful, more saturated mid-tone lavender, where this is more of a lavender with a hint of kind of like a mauve gray to it. I thought it was so pretty. So I paired those two together. If you've missed that yarn and have been looking for something similar, I think these are great. So I just wanted to let you know on the solids that the name is different, okay? So to recap that, we have the Delicate DK and the baby cuddles. And Michaels has yet a third yarn that you see on the far left. It's called Snuggly Wuggly. The colors are beautiful. You can see more saturated and vibrant, and they can work back to the other two I showed you. However, this one is 100% acrylic, and it's a little bit thinner, 446 yards for 5 ounces, which breaks down to about 10 yards less per ounce, although I do think you could work this yarn in with the other two, but you may need to adjust your hook size accordingly going back and forth. And I happen to have a video on that very subject, and I will leave the link for that below too. And I completely forgot to show you these in my last video that I saw when I was in Michaels a few days ago. These are cinnamon swirls, not new yarn, but they have some new colorways with self-striping and these interesting sections like a marled kind of speckled yarn. I think that could create some really fun projects. The colors are beautiful. You could see there was a finished project, and some of the colors came across a little garish to me. However, once worked up, you never quite know, and they can be surprisingly fun and beautiful. Most of them, I think, are lovely, and they did really great combinations on the colors, made them interesting and a little bit offbeat and unusual, which is what makes them so fun. So I have not worked with this yarn. I think it's really pretty. Unfortunately, the texture is a little too coarse for my sensitive hands, but if you've used it, I would love to know how you like it, what you've made in it. Do you have a favorite colorway or project that you use? And on the other side of these racks, there are new colors in the skinny cakes. These are really fun, and some of the colors are similar to the big cakes, which I really enjoy, such as this one right here in the middle, although the colors maybe are just slightly more muted, but I think they have done a great job this year in the really varied and nice selection. And then now I'm going to finish up our walk while we still have a spot of sun over there. And then I'm going to get back to my new pattern. But anyway, in the meantime, take good care, everyone. Great to see you as always. Be safe out there. Stay well. Happy creating. And I will be back real soon with that new tutorial. Alrighty. Bye for now.